I'm sorry. What'd you say your name was?
Just can't believe it. I cannot believe that this perfect show is over. What am I supposed to do now? Well, the time has finally come for me to review something, and today, oh man, I am so excited to talk about this damn show. Now, I've never said it before, but I'm actually a very huge fan of Breaking Bad, and yes, I will hop on the bandwagon that Breaking Bad is probably one of the best shows to ever grace TV, which it definitely is. But, alas, Season 6 is finally over of Better Call Saul, and man, I just can't say goodbye to this show. I mean, seriously, what a show. It comes with no surprise, but Peter Gould and Vince Gilligan have made something really special. To be honest, I understand why a lot of people were hesitant about a prequel show, but I just have to say that if there's one thing the show does, it's to justify its existence. I think the show has done a fantastic job of continuing some of these characters' stories, but I think it's added more weight and depth into all of the events that take place in Breaking Bad. The first thing I want to mention are the characters, for the majority of them are diverse, infectious, and just really damn fun to watch, and man, after Howard's last episode, I think it solidified Lalo as being one of my favorite villains in a TV show. Just because every scene he's in is just so tense and nerve-wracking because, just like Gus, it's hard to tell what he's thinking underneath his sly and talkative exterior. Now, I think the hardest thing I found during my binge watch through this show is comparing these characters to the characters in Breaking Bad, like Kim to Skyler, Nacho to Jesse, or Saul to Walter. Although I think the paths of each of these characters head in vastly different directions. And on a side note, I've come to really like Nacho in the way I've loved Jesse, but after seeing the show unravel, I can say with certainty that Jesse has had a much worse life in comparison. I will say that over the course of this show, I've come to like Kim and Jimmy's relationship more than Walter and Skyler's, only because of how she describes it in their final episode in the main timeline. But that's besides the point. This show is shot well, it's directed fantastically, and is written with just so much enthusiasm. Every character is rich, and their arcs over the show are thought out spectacularly. I don't even have very many gripes with the show. I think the show takes a little while to ramp up, especially between Nacho and Mike. Although I've come to love their characters anyway, I found their development in the story to be kind of slow, which made the first couple of seasons a little difficult. But it doesn't bother me because I was more interested in what was going on between Chuck and Jimmy, which at the root of the whole show is the driving force. By now, most people know that this show is vastly different from Breaking Bad, and I think there's some truth to that, but ultimately, I think it does the same by trying to follow a protagonist who is pushed further and further down the rabbit hole. I think one thing that I like about Better Call Saul is that on his whole spiral downwards, Saul manages to take all of these people with him, solidifying Chuck's point that Jimmy is a loose cannon that can't help himself. Or, as he would say,
and Slippin' Jimmy I can handle just fine, but Slippin' Jimmy with a law degree is like a chimp with a machine gun.
I think the reason I've come to love this damn show so much is that it fully fleshes out the two-dimensional, shady lawyer that we all knew as Saul Goodman, and it shows us the different points in his life that led him to becoming that. One day, when I inevitably return to Breaking Bad, I think it'll be impossible for me to see Slippin' Jimmy in the same way. This show is truly masterful, and I cannot believe that it is already time to say goodbye to it. If you've already seen Breaking Bad, then watching this is a no-brainer, but I will say that you shouldn't be going into it with the same expectations. This show is less about action and more about the corruption of one person and how it affects the people around him. In a lot of ways, it's a character study into the mindset of the great Saul Goodman and everything that was sacrificed for him to become a lawyer. But for the people that are saying it's boring, you just have to be patient with it. Much like Breaking Bad, its plot starts to ramp up by the end of the second season and carries through. Though I actually love the second season of Breaking Bad, and it's personally one of my favorites. So overall, I would say that Better Call Saul is a tragic and chaotic story of the rise and fall in his life that has fantastic cinematography, especially in its fifth and sixth season, great direction and writing from Peter Gould and Vince Gilligan that showcases how much love they actually have for this character, and everyone from the cast and the crew that worked to make this show as special as it was. I think my final rating for this show is about a 9 out of 10, only because of my few gripes with the first couple of seasons, but truthfully I loved every second of this journey, and now I can't imagine a world where their story does not exist. But hey, that's just my 2 cents on the show.